Howdy. So my name is David Gouldin. I'm a musician and a software developer, and I'm going to talk to you about the economics of free. So when you look at the entire history of music, it's only for a very brief period of time that recorded music has been a source of revenue. Now, the very first forms of recordings were so hard to reproduce that they were virtually completely out of the hands of the general public. But after that, you had this kind of golden age where big businesses could reproduce media fairly cheaply, but individuals still couldn't. And this is where record labels came from. Now, we're in the age of digital media, where it's so easy to reproduce and distribute the media that its supply is virtually unlimited. And when you plot an unlimited supply on a fixed demand curve, you reach the price asymptote of $0 or essentially free. Now, you can introduce artificial scarcity into the system, but this is generally a bad idea. Besides being a flagrant violation of fair use, it's pretty much guaranteed to be broken within a matter of days, if not hours. So what this means is that you're paying customers, the ones who are trying to do the right thing, end up with a worse user experience than the copyright infringers or the pirates. So the bike that you're selling has square wheels because it was only made to be ridden on special roads. So, given this reality, what can we do? You can complain about the technology that's supposedly to blame for your dying business model. You can tell Billboard magazine that there's nothing in you that wants to do new music and lament that it's too late to fix things. You can even ignore the consumption models your customers are asking for and sue them all into the ground using DriftNet lawsuits based on questionable evidence. But you know what they say, those who can't innovate, litigate. Or you can choose to embrace the reality. Use it to your advantage. Give your fans what they want in a way that respects their rights and preserves your livelihood. Now, there are 4 steps to help you do that. The first is to redefine your market. Define it based on its benefit to people, not based on a product. So you don't push CDs, you provide musical enjoyment and a social atmosphere where people can get together, identify with each other, and have fun. So the second is to separate the components of that benefit into the infinite and the scarce. Things like your recorded music, your lyric sheets, those things are infinite. What's scarce is your time, your attention, physical things like t-shirts, your creativity and your talent. So the third step is to take those infinite components and set them free. Spread them as far and as wide as you can using as many avenues as you have available to you. So your goal here is complete ubiquity. And if your music is good, the machine of free will drive itself at some point. But there are 2 kinds of free, and for this to work, you need both. Free as in beer is easy, just don't charge anything. Free as in speech is a little bit more difficult because by default, all intellectual property is protected under copyright. So that's why I like Creative Commons. Creative Commons is a more liberal license than copyright that allows you to define what you want people to be able to do with your intellectual property. So, you've set your infinite components free. The last and final step is to take those scarce components and charge as much as you can for them. That's right. This will be much easier now because you've driven up the demand for those scarce goods by giving away the free stuff. And since you're giving away something that other people are charging for, you now have a competitive advantage in your marketplace. And people will also see you as one of the good guys because they perceive that you have their best interests in mind and aren't just trying to make a buck off them. So, let's look at some examples of this in practice. Trent Reznor is a well-known example of an artist who gives his music away and still makes money. He does things like printing CDs that change colors when you play them, or adding extra artwork to the albums. He even allows you to download submixes of his songs that you can then remix yourselves. Another example is Jill Sobule. She wanted to get her fans to fund the cost of recording her album in advance, so she gave them sponsorship options from $10 up to $10,000, all the way up to playing a house concert in your home, or even a chance to sing on her album. So how many of you have heard of Brad Sucks? Raise your hand. Anybody? Yeah, he does. Well, it's because he gave away his recorded music. Now that that music is spread, he has enough notoriety that people are asking him to play shows for money. And he would be the first to tell you it's because of free digital distribution. So, to further prove the point, all of the images that I've used in this presentation are Creative Commons licensed. I put the credits all up in this slide, but I know you don't really have time to read them all here. So instead, I would ask that you go to this URL and check them out. If you like them, click on the link, comment on their Flickr page. Maybe you'll become a fan. Maybe you'll even buy a print one day. And then that artist will be taking advantage of the economics of free. Thank you.